My name is Nachum Shifrin, otherwise known as Surfing Rabbi. It wasn't in a synagogue that I found spirituality. It was right here in the ocean. That helped me focus my life on where I want to go. I was in the 7th grade, and I heard these kids in my science class. They kept saying stuff like, oh, Mickey Dora and Lance Carson and Weber, and their eyes were like saucers every time they mentioned these heroic figures in the surfing lore. And when I saw how excited they were, I said, that's it, I have to find out what's going on. I took off from school one day, didn't go to school, hitchhiked over the Malibu Canyon. I was a Valley Grim back then. I ended up in Malibu. They had the picket fence there, that barbed wire fence, and all the longboards up against the fence. And it was just the best thing that ever happened to me. I saw Dora and Carson and Weber, and everybody's getting ready for the Malibu contest that year. I rented one of the Blue Sharks, $1 a day, paddled out, I should say cooped out. Finally migrated to where the outside set was, and I had enough courage to just drop in, and of course I dropped in on Mickey Dora. And then the last thing I remember is this expletive deleted curse as I went flying through the air, being tumulted from my shins got whacked by the nose of his board. And it's like I told somebody else the other day, that was the best thing that ever could have happened to me. I got to meet Mickey Dora personally. A lot of people never met him in their lives, like I had a intimate relationship with him, And B, I got to learn what it's like to be in the pecking order. I mean, a little humility, wait your turn. I've been surfing for almost 40 years, and every day is like the same day I paddled out. I look down at the rocks and look at the fish and check out the seaweed and see which way the ripples are, how they're moving, the wind's blowing, if it's offshore or west wind, and I just love it. I was lucky. A lot of my friends through that whole Vietnam era, they didn't make it. A lot of them OD'd, a lot of them were killed in Vietnam, and perhaps it's a legacy that's befallen me and people in my milieu to keep up the stoke, to keep up that thing that we used to know. We used to call it the aloha spirit. My dream was to be a Malibu lifeguard. I just saw these guys sitting back with their sunglasses, those Foster Grant sunglasses, watching the girls, they got their paddleboard right there so they can make a rescue, and they call up headquarters, say, I'm going to go for a break right now, and of course they just paddle out and came 10, and I said, my God, I've got to do that. And I couldn't swim. I could surf, but I couldn't swim. So I forced myself. I joined an AAU swim club, and I swam 4 miles a day, and I just grunted it out. I had 11-year-old kids passing me by and just laughing at me. It was pretty humiliating, actually. But I became a lifeguard in 1973. I was a lifeguard El Capitan for 2 summers. Like when those southwest swells would pop, peek through the islands, there's no one there. I'm surfing 70-degree water at El Cap, all to myself. I mean, it's the greatest. The only spirituality that I found in the world was surfing. Ironically, the more I got involved with the spirituality of my heritage, the more it endeared me to surfing. To the point where I started a Surf and Soul magazine about how surfing and spirituality are very connected. Ancient Hasidim, very devout, pious Jews have said, according to the effort, you will get the reward. There cannot be an endless summer or a perfect wave without the tremendous trials and tribulations getting into it. If you had to fly to Cape St. Francis on a Boeing 707, and if there was a landing strip right there, and you just popped out and you see these perfect waves, it wouldn't mean a damn thing. I just think that the era of the Learjet surfer is, I'm an old-fashioned guy, and there's a little bit of a wince that comes across my face when I hear that kind of an angle. It's so awesome to bump into guys that you meet on the search, and just you and a couple guys, and that you went through hell to get where you got to, You almost got killed by a million different times by all kinds of things. And you're out there sharing these perfect stuff and you're laughing. And you realize is that you have, the effort that you made to get there was what enabled you to really appreciate and get a soul connection with the spot. I had a guy paddle up to me at Rincon on the big day once, and he grabbed onto my board. And I'm saying to him, "Hey dude, what's up?" He goes, "Oh, I lost my board." I go, "Go get it." "Oh, I can't swim." I go, "Dude, there's a set coming, man. I'm going to take off right now. You're out of here." And there was a time when people were very aware of being in shape, and those times it seems like are over, especially with the courts, because there's nobody that pays a price. So again, the toe-in is you get in without paying the price. And without paying the price, it's not a healthy thing, because you have to know what the disaster's like in order to appreciate what you're doing. That's how I was taught. I can't imagine what my life would be like without my connection with the ocean. It certainly would be different. I know I wouldn't be as productive. I know I wouldn't be as vital. So in a way, the message is, God didn't all of a sudden abandon you when you left the synagogue or the church. He's with you wherever you go. And this part of this body of water that we see out here reminds us of Him and allows us to reflect on just the awesome might of His creation.